They told me they were representing me, and then a sheriff showed up my door 6 months later to arrest me and my wife, unless we paid $10,000. I'm like, I have to pay 10 grand to keep us out of jail for an account that has Dirty Doe's name on, and you have a text saying that you're covering it, and I was your full-time employee, and you're still fucking me over.
Starting kind of from the beginning, do you feel there was a clear winner out of the Crumble versus Dirty Doe? Who do you think that was?
Yeah, it grew our business, and I think it hurt Crumble's business more than anything. It gave us so much awareness, which then converted to franchise sales, which then converted to money. But then you have to support those franchisees. Our biggest error was growing too fast. So in that way we lost, but in the actual lawsuit, they had no evidence of anything. They lost on all points. But after a year and a half, we weren't getting the exposure anymore.
It sounds like maybe it was a win on the reputation side. It's like free press. Are you saying the silver bullet was that you scaled too fast?
Too quickly, yeah. So Crumble didn't sue us. We would have sold 5 franchises and kind of figured it out little by little. But instead we sold a ton. And then I brought in as many advisors as I could. I brought in a CEO that had 40 years of experience. John Richards was our advisor, and Steve Hart from Property Management Inc. I thought I was making it all good. So I would go to the investors and they're like, hey, do we sell this or do we not sell it? Do we take on more franchisees?
At what point did it start to feel like this is too fast? Was anyone else warning you?
I mean, yeah, but was anybody saying, don't do this next step? And I was saying, do it anyway. No, I don't know if I ever made a single decision like that just because of the lack of experience. Summer of 2023 was when the production side was the hardest issue. So the Dirty Dope model was built on simplicity and ease for the franchisee, but that created more complexities for the franchisor. We became a dough manufacturing company and shipping dough nationally. Like, hey, we're a logistics company now. We're running corporate stores. There's too much going on. That's when we brought in Greg Majewski. His track record is Jimmy John's. Greg came up, stepped up, and he said, hey, you don't have to pay me. I'll come. I'll be a full-time CEO. All hands on deck. You get my whole team. We'll do a services for equity vesting, and it'll be great. I will get the cookie costs down. We signed the deal. It was great for 2 months. He met with all the franchisees. He gave them their phone number, and then I don't know if he's responded to anybody in a year and a half. That was in January of 24, and the acquisition was September of 24. But in December, the deal was he was getting management control of everything. And in the first 6 months, we saw some really great things happen. And you'd say 5% here, 10% there. And it's like, cool. And then they cut me off almost completely, stopped paying bills. Anything that I was left on, they stopped responding to. If there was a lease that Craigworthy took over in the purchase, they stopped paying it, even though that was part of the deal, and just letting the lawsuits pile. Their strategy is go acquire a bunch of turnaround companies. Dirty Doe at the time was 80-something locations. They bought it for $0. They stuck me with the bill. The number one motivation for me to sell was, do you guys think Greg is gonna do a better job than me? He's got 20 years more experience. That's why we made the decision. And I think for Greg, it was Craigworthy doesn't have money. We did 13 million that year, and he acquired us for $0. So there's a lot of benefit from him. I wanted franchisees to have an experience, and then I wanted investors to make their money back. And that's why I made that decision.
The benefit for you is, hey, you've got this firm that has a lot more experience than me and can take care of these customers I brought on. And they have the funding to be able to fund our overhead costs. But at that point, they took the assets and then never paid any of the overhead.
Yeah, and they'll pay some of it, and I do believe that if they had the money that they would pay it, but they knew they didn't have the money. But we didn't know that. He wouldn't approve it to an attorney for me. So I went through the whole transaction without an attorney because he specifically said they couldn't. Then I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, maybe that was the plan the whole time. Block the chance for an attorney, and then take a company, don't pay anything out, and leave all of the debts to everybody else.
What was the due diligence process for basically handing all this over to Craigworthy?
What was our due diligence on Craigworthy? That was not well done. Hey, you show us your balance sheet, you show us this and that, and they just drug their feet really all the way to the very end. We're like, we can't do this unless we have more information. But we were in such a tight spot. I mean, thought it was a good decision. Bring in somebody as an advisor, get to know him, bring him in as CEO, get to know him a little bit more, then you can sell the company, kind of baby steps. But then it's like, no, as soon as I brought him in as CEO, could put pressure on us to sell to him because he's in control. Hey, we don't have any money, so you could sell to me or you guys could go bankrupt. And it's like, wait, why don't we have any money? You're spending it elsewhere and you're taking money out of our accounts and using it for Craveworthy. And I don't know, it's a whole hodgepodge of crap.
Maybe they do kind of target
Distressed. 50% distressed, Brexit turnaround. His strategy is fuck you, sue me.
Have you talked to any other companies from their portfolio?
I did meet the other founders and nobody was as stoked. If there's one thing I learned from Dirty Dough, we opened up 100 locations in less than 2 years. And then we closed 24 of them. That's not the way to grow. Instead, let's look at brands that have been around for 15 years. They have 22 locations and they've never closed. So I'm taking that experience and I'm saying, I want to do all my business opposite of what I did with Dirty Dough because that was too quick and I didn't know what I didn't know.
When it comes to the whole Craveworthy acquisition, do you feel like your franchisees understood what was going on? How did they respond to Craveworthy taking over?
Everybody was very excited. It's like, okay, Jimmy John's is the #1 food franchise in the world. He came up with the freaky fast. But again, it's like, cool, let's go with it. But you don't think, well, that was 20 years ago. What the fuck? You don't know what you don't know. So I just saw one of our franchisees in Vegas last week. What I'm hearing is they can't get anybody on the phone from corporate. I actually quit Craveworthy because I couldn't get franchise validators. So I have somebody that wants to buy a franchise. They say, cool, connect me with somebody. And with Dirty Dough, even if the stores weren't doing great, I had a good relationship. I would never not answer my phone. I would talk to them, hey, what are your issues? Resolve the issues and then say, hey, I have a prospect. Would you be willing to share your experience? Yes. When you ran out of people to do that, because nobody from corporate had a good relationship with like any franchisee, that's when I quit. I'm like, this is a joke, guys. I'm not going to represent any of that. As soon as I quit, it was like, okay, well, here's the lawsuits are going to be piling on you. At the same time, while I was working with them full time, I was being sued. Well, Dirty Dough was being sued with my name on it. They told me not to respond. They told me they were representing me. And then a sheriff showed up at my door 6 months later to arrest me and my wife, unless we paid $10,000. I'm like, I have to pay 10 grand to keep us out of jail for an account that has Dirty Dough's name on and you have a text saying that you're covering it. And I was your full-time employee and you're still fucking me over. So
why do you think a lot of the franchisees see blame more on you than on Craveworthy?
I don't know. I'd have to ask them, I guess. I've always responded to anybody who's ever reached out to me. Even if they reached out to me today and like, hey, this sucks. Why'd you do this? I would answer them completely. And I've never not answered anybody. That's why I'm like, I don't know.
Is there a different sentiment that you have? Do you feel like people are putting blame more on Craveworthy?
Yes. I mean, I don't know. Let me think. The whole time I was there, I didn't have any franchisee that I don't know. We had a lot of franchisees. Didn't even know about them. I just felt like I had good relationships with everyone, even if they weren't happy. And even if they had to close the store or whatever, I was still talking to them and helping them through it. And it was never, you made the wrong decision. It's shit, this sucks. How do you want me to help? And so I don't know. There's probably 100 people that bought a franchise and I met 30 of them. And the other 70 are in a group chat that never met me. And that's probably where the thought comes from, but I don't know.
Well, looking back, what would you do differently, if anything?
Looking back, what would I do differently? I wouldn't have done anything differently. I brought in a top-level CEO. I brought in the best advisors. I met all of the industry experts and try to do every single thing that other than getting a financial degree. One of the investors was like, hey, you mismanaged the money. We spent $30,000 on attorneys to investigate fraud into me. And it didn't come up with anything because there was nothing. His response was like, oh, well, ultimately the buck stops at you. Like, you are in charge of the finances. I'm like, I know I am, but you invested knowing I don't have a finance degree and you tell me what I should have done better. You have to trust that we're hiring the right people. That specific investor, Larry Cook, very seasoned investor, we brought him on specifically to do weekly cash flow management meetings, which we did do for every single week. So I had all these top NBA people and nobody could figure it out. And I'm like, maybe just nobody knows business. Like, we went through 3 different CFOs through Now CFO. They're the most premium service and they couldn't figure it out. What would I do differently? If I'm doing it again, maybe that's a better question for me to answer. If I'm doing it again, I'm doing what I'm doing now. I'm going a lot slower. Going slower would fix pretty much everything. People bought into 2 things, the model and the team. I did both of those to the best of my ability, but why couldn't we nail the execution down? I don't know. We did do better than 99% of the franchises that launch in the first few years, but that means nothing if it's not sustainable. What I did wrong was selling franchises for a brand that wasn't established. It's much better when the pitch is 15 years in business, 0 closers. That's what I'm trying to really learn from my experience. We lost literally millions of dollars in this venture opening up too quickly.
You're leaning into the things that you did really well with Dirty Dough now, which is like the sales cycle and
Yes,
kind
I'm
of putting
hanging out my
customer
operations hat.
Yeah.
I failed on that. I'll try again in 10 years.
Anything else you want to share?
For franchisees, I do want them to know I'm still here. Like if anybody messaged me or called me or texted me, I would still respond to them and help them out in any way I could. I don't know how many people are being what are the chances that a friend reads that and it happens? I don't know. But no,
It definitely
I think
has
that's
happened. I've gotten a few DMs.
good. You can share my cell phone number with them and say, hey, Bennett's willing to talk to you, ask any or answer any questions. There's not much I can do, but people just like to be heard. And I'm totally fine hearing them and apologizing or whatever needs to be done, because I do feel bad about this situation. Did I bring on the wrong people? Was I fraudulent? Did I lie? No. But even trying my best and doing everything, it just, a lot of people lost a lot of money and that sucks.
Okay, yeah, I'll make sure to add that in there.
Thanks, Jess.
Okay, thanks so much. Have a great day.
Have a
Bye.
good one. See ya.